Hello friends, in this video we are going to discuss about the t-test in data analysis. Overview of t-test, how a t-test works, single sample t-test, independent sample t-test, paired t-test, effect size of t-test. How a t-test works. The t-test is used to compare means. The difference between means is divided by a standard error. The t-statistics conceptually similar to a z-score. Here, how a t-test works given in a formula. T is equal to observed difference minus expected difference divided by standard error of difference. First type of t-test is single sample t-test. Compare a sample mean to a hypothesized population mean, that is, test value based on previous research or norms. Equation for one sample t-test is t is equal to x bar minus mu divided by s by root n, where in the above formula t is the t statistics, x bar is the sample of the mean of the sample, mu is the comparison mean, s is the standard deviation, n is the sample size. Assumption for single t-test: first is independent observation, second is normal distribution or large n sample, third is an interval or ratio level data. Sampling distribution of mean: the t distribution is symmetrical but flatter than a normal distribution. The exact shape depends on degree of freedom. Here, what is the degree of freedom? Amount of information in the sample changes depending on the design and statistics. To calculate one group design, df is equal to n-1 formula. It's here. The last score is not free to vary. Second type is independent sample t-test. It is also called as unpaired t-test. Used with between subjects unmatched designs. Equation for the independent sample t-test. The independent sample t-test is procedure to compare means for two different cases or samples or population. T is equal to x bar 1 minus x bar 2 divided by s by n, s1 by n, s2 by n. Here x bar 1 and x bar 2 are the mean of two different groups. N1 and N2 are the number of observations in group 1 and group 2. S1 and S2 are the standard deviation of the given two samples. Sampling distribution of the difference between the means we are collecting two sample means and finding out how big the difference between is them. The mean of this sampling distribution is H0 between sample population mean, which is 0. Here, the independent sample t-test assumptions are interval or ratio data, normal distribution or n at least 30, independent observation. Next is homogeneity of variance, equal variance in the population. Independent sample t-test interpretation is sign of t depends on the order of entry of the two groups. Here, to calculate degree of freedom of independent sample, t is equal to n1 plus n2 minus 2. Paired sample t-test is a paired sample t-test. It's third type of t-test. A paired t-test is used to compare two population mean, where you have two samples in which observations in one sample can be paired with observation in another sample. A comparison of two different methods of measurement or two different treatments where the measurements or treatments are applied to the same subjects. Here are the given the steps to how to calculate paired t-test. First step is calculate the difference between two observations, that is di is equal to yi minus xi. Second step is calculate the mean difference. And third step is calculate the standard error of a sum mean difference, that is SE is equal to SD divided by root n. Then fourth step is calculate t statistics. And fifth is and also calculate degrees of freedom. And fifth step is by using t table of the t distribution to compare your value for t to the distribution will give the p-value for the paired t-test. Paired sample t-test interpretation assumptions are interval or ratio data, normal distribution or nt at least 30, independent observations. Paired sample t-test interpretations. The sign of the t depends on the order in which the variables are entered. df is equal to n minus 1. Here the effect size of t-test. Statistical significance is about the null hypothesis, not about the size of the difference. A small difference may be significant with sufficient power. A significant but small difference may not